This is it, literally the end of the road in Norway. Well, I wondered what a 4-digit highway in Norway would be like. Can't believe there's not a Starbucks here. Something about fascism? I get the sense that I'm being watched. I think I'll stay here for a while. Hey, good morning from Vardo. Today we are going on a day trip from Vardo, way out here on the edge of the Barents Sea, just up to this town of Hamningberg. According to the lady we met in the Gamvik Museum a few days ago, she specifically recommended this drive, and so did her husband, as being very special.
And you have to go out to Hamningberg. It's also a very nice place.
Yeah. Okay.
The road out there are very special.
It takes 1 hour. Yeah. The road is fantastic.
I don't know what to expect on the way. I am hoping for some great scenery, and I'm just curious to see what the town of Hamningberg is like. I'm gonna try to find some lunch there. Maybe there's a cafe, maybe there's a shop, maybe there isn't. Maybe I have to come all the way back to Vardo and eat something here. Let's go ahead and take a drive with our $3.50 can of Pepsi Max, because the prices were not marked in the store, and I said, well, I don't know what it is, but whatever it costs, I guess I'll just buy it. That'll be my fate. And it was the most expensive I've ever seen. The landscape so far on this drive is this road is very narrow, and it winds through these really low, very soft, rounded hills. The road is constantly going around curves you can't quite see because there's all these crazy rock formations on both sides of the road. And you go over these hills and you can't see what's on the other side. Then it'll open up into these big sweeping vistas sometimes. It's really an impressive drive. This is really, really cool, and almost nobody else here. Saw 2 other cars pass by in the last 20 minutes. Well, I wondered what a 4-digit highway in Norway would be like, and I got my answer. This is Highway 8100, some kind of cultural or scenic designation, and it is a very narrow road. As I was thinking, a very narrow road, maybe 1.5 meters wide, just wide enough for my car, and it winds through these amazing little rocky hills. I've not seen a single posted speed limit on the whole thing, so I assume it's drive whatever is safe, which is often very, very slow because you're going around these tight curves and stuff. But here at the end of Norway, at Ultima Thule, the end of the world, 8100, the last road in the world, as far as I'm concerned. And this is what a 4-digit highway in Norway is like. Here it's kind of long and curved and straight, but the other parts are. Take a little break here from the unbelievable rock formations to look at this little roadside memorial. Falt under forsvar av Norge mot fascismen. Something about fascism. These 3 guys, Kåre, Håkon, and Oskar. Here's the same thing in Russian. This memorial with its flowers and its red obelisk here. Plastic obelisk. To 3 people who did something on July 28th, 1943 to defeat fascism. I don't know why it's this spot in the road, but from a modern scenery point of view, look at this spot in the road. This is a special drive. Okay, I can see Hamningberg ahead, just about 1 or 2 kilometers. If Vardo is the end of the world, then Hamningberg is on the other side. This is truly the end of the world, the only settlement, as far as I know, beyond Vardø. What a drive. And I think we have a little monument here to mark the beginning of Hamningberg. Let's get out and check this out. The other side of the end of the world. So it looks like a boat called Colin Archer and its crew, its Mannschaft, on 1894, 20th of May, apparently sank. I would assume 100-year anniversary of this ship sinking and all its men being lost. That's my guess. Here's an explanation in English. Okay, I had that all wrong. So in 1894, the Colin Archer was the first vessel of the Norwegian kind of boat rescue department. So it began in Vardo one day, and then the next day there was a big storm here in Hamningberg, and a lot of fishermen on their boats couldn't get back to shore because of the conditions, and they were radioing, or whatever, not radio, they're SOSing for help somehow. So this guy, the captain of this ship, which was this guy, Nikolai Antonisen, he risked his life repeatedly, going out in very suboptimal conditions to actually rescue people. A lot of the boats were damaged, not everybody was saved, but a lot of people were saved. It would have been much worse without him. He received some high marks for his bravery and his fearlessness in saving these people, these fishermen in Hamningberg. And so this was at the 100-year anniversary of that event, and it was put here in honor of the boat and its crew. That information sign said that Hamningberg was really good, is really good for fishing, but it has a very poor harbor, which is very dangerous, especially for bigger boats, kind of impossible. And the Norwegian government was going to develop it, but then they decided not to and kind of went back on their word. And so in 1965, they told everybody to just evacuate this place because it's too dangerous and nobody should be living here. And then 4 older people stayed for another 13 years till 1978, and then they were gone, and then that was it. That's what the sign says, as if nobody was here now, as if it were a ghost town, but that's not true. Somebody lives here. So the sign didn't tell the whole modern story. It only got up to 1978. So I don't know who's here now. I don't know why they're here. I see a dog. So there's one dog. That's all I've seen so far. That's the only civilization, except all these houses, which are clearly being kept up. So somebody's here now. I don't know why, but this is an amazing little fishing village. This is true gorgeousness on the edge of the Barents Sea. This is it, literally the end of the road in Norway. This is at the end of the town of Hamningberg. Behind me is the sea and my car. So this, as far as I know, is as far as it's possible to get by paved roads here in eastern Finnmark. And there's a map here, which is kind of curious, which says, so we're here in Hamningberg. This is little peninsula area, I guess. We're on this little cape or whatever. There do seem to be some trails, and these might be unpaved roads, which I'm not going to take my car down, but there are other little places around here. Some kind of orange dots. I don't quite know what that is, but this is the wild and crazy end of Norway. End of Norway. And it is absolutely peaceful and beautiful out here. It's cold, but it's not frozen. It's just chilly. There are seagulls around. There are quiet little houses. There must be people in the houses, but I don't see any evidence of actually like any fishing operations here. I'm here in the town dump, which as far as town dumps goes, not that bad. Okay, so figured out where we are. That way is north. So the North Pole is that way. Russia must be over here behind these birds somewhere. I'm gonna go back through Hamningberg one more time. It takes about 2 minutes to do that, even at 30 kilometers an hour. I'm gonna look a little bit more. Maybe I can find some kind of shop that's open. Not that I need anything, I just wanna go in and talk to somebody and see what somebody says here. According to Google Maps, there is a cafe here. That seems hard to believe, but I'll go back and look and see what I can find. According to this sign, this village, unbelievably, was not destroyed by the Nazis. So the buildings in this town are from before the war. I guess some of them, I don't know if all of them or just some of them, but this is the style of building before the war, which is very rare to see in this part of Norway. So Hamningberg is a museum, an open air museum that's also a town with people in it. Wow. What an opportunity to see something like this. This building's got a sign on it. Let's go see what it says. Oh wow, this is the school. The Hamningberg School. Well, it's early afternoon on a Tuesday. School should be in session. I don't hear any learning going on inside. Wonder how many kids go to this school. Could it be 0? This may be pre-war. Whatever this building is, may date from before World War II. Something you never see in Norway, in this part of Norway. I have thoroughly loved my time in Hamningberg. I haven't eaten anything. Could knock on someone's door and say, I'm hungry, I'm a hungry traveler, please give me some food. Over here, one thing I love, one thing I hate. The public free bathroom, which I think is a great feature of Norway. And the thing I hate, a bucket of these stupid orange-pink poles, which you have seen in virtually all of my footage, which line the roads here in all of this part of Norway. Apparently they're there. My guess is they are there to mark the sides of the road for when it snows and you can't see otherwise. You can't see where the road is, so you follow those, which is great and all. It's obviously very necessary, but they photobomb nearly everything here. Every beautiful sweeping vista. You just have to ignore the orange poles. Many of the shots, many of the video footage I've gotten and the still pictures I've taken across fjords and across roads and stuff, I've tried to position it to just kind of miss the orange poles as best I could, but you can't really avoid them. They're always there. Yeah. Well, I didn't find a cafe, but I found a church. Hamningberg has its own church. Hamningberg, population maybe 30, has its own church. Long church, a small church in the red wood style. So surrounded by some buildings that are even more picturesque. I did see one person out. I saw a guy out by the water doing something with some, looked like some kind of fishing stuff, and a seagull on a nearby roof watching him. That's the only sign of activity I've seen here. I get the sense that I'm being watched, and I don't think it's this town's fault. I think it's just the fact that it's so small. It's my imagination going away with me. Because visitors up here must be so rare. So, no luck on the cafe, which I'm not surprised by, because not a cafe type of place. Can't believe there's not a Starbucks here. But there are tables here. So really there is a cafe here. It's just that there's no service per se, but that's really my fault because I didn't bring my fishing pole. So I could have got all the lunch I wanted right out of the fjord. So it's really my fault. Here's the cafe. I think I'll stay here for a while. Let's go check out the playground, then I'll explain the rest of this video to you. Normally, in a video like this, you would get to the destination like this, some lovely little place, and the drive would be over and you'd say, well, let's end the video here. Thanks for watching, see you next time. Please subscribe and like. Old boat for the playground. But I want to show you the drive back because it's going to be along that same rocky road. But when you go back along roads like that here, the views are totally different. So here are the highlights of the drive back way down south to Vardø. Okay, we need to address something in the video now. As you know, I love these sort of mountain streams that come down. They crash over, they splash over the rocks and everything, and very, very lovely. But just because I see one does not mean I'm gonna like go crazy and lose my head and jump around and all this kind of crazy stuff like this. It's just not gonna happen. One thing that's really cool here is in this section of the road, there are all these rocks that are red or green, kind of pink and green. It makes for a very pretty rock feel. They're all real rounded. I think somebody's been here before. What is this? Sacrificial reindeer carcass pyre. This spot in the road is actually one of the more remarkable on the whole drive because it's got everything. It's got the big rock walls and the crazy kind of jagged rock, little smaller rocks down there. It's got the red and green rocks, the pink and green rocks. It's got the yellow grasses and the green ivy type stuff, orange trees over there. Out here it's got the rolling green farmlands. And then right here, a sandy beach with actual waves hitting an actual beach from the actual Barents Sea. Quiet, there's nobody around. I've seen no cars since Hamningberg, which was like 30, 40 minutes ago. No cars out here, just mine. No people around, just the sun and the sky and the rocks and the sea. And us. Well, just driving along the side of the road, thought I'd stop and see what this is. What is this? You know, I think I found my home. I'm just gonna stay here tonight. Is it okay with you guys? No answer. Probably means it's okay. Okay, we're getting a little bit closer to Vardø now, and the landscape is kind of flattened out. It's more back to the graceful sweeping curves over the gentle landscape. So, thank you for driving to Hamningberg with me, the other side of the end of the world. It's amazing. I will remember it for years and years and years. So anyway, thanks for driving, and I'll see you on the next one.